Welcome to the GPNJ tournament recap. I'm Zane, and I'm going to talk about how I did at the weekend with this Sultai Delirium mid-range / control deck. This deck was, I don't know how to put it nicely, very medium, let's put it that way. The deck was very bad in testing throughout the week. I had not been winning very much on MTGO, and on Friday night testing, I was not doing well either. Making some last minute changes with main deck, his expertise was huge, as well as adding negates and transgress the mines into the main. The point of this deck is to disrupt your opponent and draw out the game as long as you can, and then win with the Nishkana or a Torrential Gearhulk. I'm going to go through my day one matchups and tell you exactly how I did and what I played against. I played against a lot of Mardu vehicles, just as a heads up. So I had a 1-round bye. So I had a bye. I started at 1-0 then. And then I played against Esper Control, which I beat because of Tireless Tracker. Tireless Tracker held me through that game. It destroyed the opponent because there was not much removal in the opponent's deck for it, and it ran away with games. I then played against Mardu Vehicles, which was a win. The Mardu Vehicles deck doesn't have very many ways to fight through a Natural Obsolescence main, which was a nice little spice I was playing for the weekend. Plus, there's a decent amount of removal spells, and if they line up correctly, then you're going to have a good matchup. Round 4, I played against Grixis Tower. Now, Grixis Tower is a little bit different than Temur Tower. The Temur Tower matchup is very good. The Grixis Tower matchup was a little bit worse because of the unlicensed disintegration. I did end up winning in 3 games. It was a very close match where the negates and the Natural Obsolescence main were very key to my success. And I was able to advance to 4-0. The next match that I played was against Mardu Vehicles, yet again. This Mardu Vehicles player played a little differently. It's very interesting because each Mardu Vehicles player will sideboard differently. Some go big, some stay small, some go the in-between. And depending on what the opponents did, and depending on how my hands lined up, it depended on how the match went. I cannot assess whether going big or staying small is correct against my deck, since I lost to both scenarios, and I beat both scenarios. So I don't know if one is better than the other. I think it just depends on how my answers line up in those matchups. So I was able to win that round 5 and advance to 5-0. I was feeling very good about this. This is my first 5-0 start at a GP, and I was feeling, kind of confident. Like, this deck is pretty okay when it draws well. So let's see what we're going to play against next round. Round 6, I go against 4 colors to Healy, and it does not go well. My answers aren't lining up correctly. The Healy's expertises are being used too liberally, and I end up having an insanely long game 1, which I won, and the opponent had been playing a little slowly. We played game 2, and I lost, and there were 4 minutes left in the round. With 4 minutes left in the round, I basically have no way to win, so I'm just trying to create a board stall at that point, and I was not able to do so and was run over by 2 2s and 3 2s. So I picked up my first loss of the weekend. I fell down to 5-1. I then played against Mardu Vehicles. This was another tough match where I just got ran over. I looked like a green-black control / Delirium deck game 1. And then game 2, I kind of drew a few spells, but just got run over by Gideon. Gideon was the hardest time against Mardu Vehicles, and I had a very tough time combating that card. I then went to 5-2, and round 8, I played against a Mardu Vehicles player yet again. This Mardu Vehicles player kept in the tiny package, and I was able to have both his expertise game 2 and really get the opponent. And then I was able to curve out with an Ishikana, and able to snag game 3 as well. So I advanced to 6-2. This is great because I really wanted to win this last round since I had never gone into a day 2 at 7-2. I sat down on the table and I'm playing against Temur Tower. Now Temur Tower is a pretty decent matchup with mainboard negates, mainboard transgress the mines, and mainboard natural obsolescence. You have a pretty decent game against them. And with resilient threats such as Ishikana and Torrential Gearhulk, it is easy to win the game. I was able to win the match on the back of Pictobrain and more artifact disruption out of the sideboard. So I advanced to 7-2. This pile of Sultai cards was able to advance to 7-2, bringing my first 7-2 on a tournament to date. This was very exciting, and I felt very good, but I did not feel super confident for the next day. I still thought I kind of, hit a few luck patches, and variance was on my side. And in going into day 2, it was a little rough because I lost an hour of sleep due to the daylight savings change. And then round 1, I pick up a loss. It was a close match, but I pick up a loss. Round 2 of day 1, I get a win. So I was like, okay, 8-3, I can handle this. And the rest of the day, I did not win a single match. I finished 8-6-1, and a little bit disappointed on the weekend. For how strong the deck played on day 1, it just did not draw well on day 2. And I think that's because of the way it was constructed. I think there should be changes made to the deck. I think that the cards that were very insane throughout the weekend were Raheem's Expertise. This card was either completely alive in a matchup or completely dead. So it was very swingy. Liliana was just nutty. This card was great in all matchups. It recurred Ishikanas, recurred Walking Blisters, it got back Gearhulks. It pressured the opponent. It was very, very good. The one of Sylvan Advocate was part of the Traverse package, so that you could play Traverse, Sylvan Advocate, and still play Removal Spell in the same turn. I didn't like the Sylvan Advocate, and I would probably play one Grapple to Past. Since then you can get back your Torrential Gearhulks and Ishikanas even more. Or I might even play another Transgress or Negate. With the sideboard cards, I was very happy with Confiscation Coup. When you get the tower opponents into a corner, you're able to then snag the towers, or you're able to snag a huge Gearhulk. I really liked Obnixis as well. This was very good against Green Black. I played against Green Black twice on day 2. And Obnixis was very strong as well. So was Gonti. Gonti was a nice tutor package, and I liked only having one. Natural State was medium. I might have just wanted another Natural Obsolescence. That card was very insane. And the sideboard, the spell was also very, very good against the control decks, and I would have definitely liked more. The Noxious Gearhulk was expensive, and even against the matchup where I brought it in against Green Black, it didn't do that much. So I wasn't thoroughly impressed with it. Now the Ruinous Path and To the Slaughter, on the other hand, were brought in a lot of matchups, including 4 colors to Healy, and I was very happy with the presence of those cards. So I hope this tournament report was helpful for you get a mind in how I thought as a Sultai player on the weekend of this GP NJ, and thanks for watching.